John Maxwell talks about how his father incentivized him as a child to read books, and today the whole world is paying him to read his own books. Now, the word father connotes origin, source, or foundation, and we cannot underestimate the power of fathers in raising successful children. Please stay with me. Hi, I'm Ngozi Okuro. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this channel, we discuss books and how to leverage reading for success in life. Please subscribe to my channel, and if you're my new subscriber, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hi fathers, I'm talking to you not as a teacher or a preacher, but as someone who understands what is at stake when our children do not read. Fathers, we thank you for all you do for us. Thank you for putting a roof over our heads and putting food on our table. In addition to all you do, Father, I just want to talk to you today on something else that adds to the success of a child, and that is reading. It's so important if you want to raise children who are upwardly mobile, children who are going to be successful in this world, then the child must have a reading culture. And that's why we want you, fathers, to lend your voice in this area of the children's life. In my last video, I said that mothers have really done a lot of things well in the 21st century. But when it comes to the area of the reading culture of children, mothers need help. And that's why I'm appealing to fathers in this straight talk to fathers today to look into what can be done more to help mothers, okay? You know the power that fathers hold. In the home, sometimes you will see a mother talking to a child and he's saying, Junior, come out from there. Junior, come out from there. The child won't budge. In fact, he will be behaving as if his mother's voice sweet music to his ears. But when the father lifts his face up from the newspaper in his hands and says, Junior, you see that the child will just behave himself. Now, that voice is part of the voice of authority that God has given to fathers. And we want fathers to bring that powerful voice to bear in the area of helping children develop a reading culture. You see, I hold webinars for parents on how to give their children a reading culture. And in those webinars, you could have 300 women register for the webinar, and you will see just maybe 3 or 4 fathers. So I want fathers to get more involved by doing a few of these things I'm going to be discussing now. Now, the very first thing I want fathers to begin to do, if we must give our children a reading culture, is for them to begin to read. Yes, fathers, begin to read. You can read more than you're reading now. It's possible you're reading. Congratulations and thank you if you're reading. But if you're one of the many fathers that drop their pen as soon as they finish their degree exams, please hear me well. Parenting is a skill, and when you read relevant books, it improves your parental skills, okay? So you should read, fathers, every single father. We understand that you're very busy. We understand that you don't have any time. We understand that your schedules are tight, but all it takes sometimes is just 10 minutes. 10 minutes of investment into reading one book or the other that will make you a better father, that will help you to have a better relationship with your children, that will even improve your finances, will improve your marriage, will improve your communication skill. Reading has a way of improving every area of your life, okay? So we want to encourage fathers to begin to read. Now, let me tell you what else happens when you read. When your children see books in your hands as a father, it communicates a lot of things to them. It tells them that books and reading is not a school thing, that is a life thing, okay? So you end up being a role model for them. You model to them that books should be read outside the 4 walls of the school. So this is very important. I want to encourage you, okay, to add it to your routine, to add reading. Even if it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes in a day, add it to your daily routine and you will love the results. Now, the next thing you need to do, fathers, is to read for your children. Yes, read for your children. If right now your babies are still toddlers, you have an opportunity to read bedtime stories for them. Granted that nobody might have read bedtime stories for you, but you can change things, okay? You can change things. I know that reading especially reading bedtime stories. It's not part of our culture, but I keep saying that culture is dynamic. The things you couldn't get, you should give to your children. They didn't read bedtime stories for you. You can read that for your children. You can always stop over when you're coming back from work anytime. Enter any bookshop, pick some good bedtime stories and read for your children. Again, let me tell you what happens when you begin to read bedtime stories for toddlers, okay? You communicate things to them. You communicate to them that books are important. You communicate to them that they themselves, okay, are important to you, and you bond with these children. Fathers, yes, you need to bond with your children. Sometimes fathers complain that these children, the only person they know is their mother. Yeah, because mothers take steps, okay, to do all these small things that cause their children to be bonded to them. You too, father, you can do that. Read for your children, and it doesn't take so much time. Reading a bedtime stories could take less than 5 minutes, okay? Sometimes between 5 and 10 minutes, you have read a bedtime story for your child. Then another very important reason why it's so important to read bedtime stories for your children is that in reading for them, you are forming a joy-based association, enjoyment-based association for that child with books. And that foundation is going to carry that child far. A lot of children have a pain-based association or a fear-based association with books. But for you, who takes the time to read bedtime stories for your babies, okay? Those babies will grow up having a beautiful relationship with books, and they will eventually go out there to become bookworms who will excel in life, okay? Because when a child can read, nothing can be impossible for that child. When a child has a reading culture, nothing stops him, because he will be able to read and acquire every skill and every knowledge he needs in this 21st century. Remember, Brian Tracy says that the keys of the 21st century are the keys of knowledge and skill. So when a child has a reading culture, he can acquire both knowledge and skill to excel. The next thing you need to do is to provide age-specific books for your children. Now, what do I mean by age-specific books, okay? It means books that are relevant, books that are ideal for children in their various ages, starting with board books. If your children are still young, board books are the very first set of books that are given to children to introduce them to the concept of books and reading. So you provide board books for them, and then as they are growing, 2 years old, they have books meant for 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old. You, daddy, you are the one that should do this for us. Enter bookshops, buy age-specific books for children. We quite understand that fathers are project-oriented. We want to build mansions, we want to buy the latest cars, we want to spend money on big projects. Bigger than all the tangible properties is the need to give children a reading culture. That costs money. If it must be done and done well, it will involve you investing in books and other educational resources that will make your children to have a reading culture and to go up in life being upwardly mobile. Now, failure to do this, you have a situation where some children are still 30 years old and they're still in their parents' house eating food comfortably. Why? They don't have the zeal, they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the requisite skills to be on their own and to excel. It all starts from the cradle, okay? That's why fathers, you must have to invest in books and educational resources that are age-specific for your children. The next thing you need to do is to incentivize your children to read books, especially if they're teenagers. Now, if maybe as you're listening to me, your children didn't have the opportunity of starting on time, starting with board books, starting with bedtime stories, and now they are teenagers, and all they want to do every day is to sit with their gadgets and be pressing video games and all that. No, you need to incentivize them. Remember what I said in the beginning, that John Maxwell said his father incentivized him. His father gave him money to read books. That's what it means, basically. And my husband does that. Well, how he does it, he can identify a book that is very good, and he will tell our son, read this book and give me a summary of what you get in it, and I'll give you maybe 5,000 naira, or I'll give you this or that, okay? So it could even be I'll get you a pizza, or I could do this, okay? But if it is teenage boys, teenage boys or girls, they prefer money. So read this and I'll give you 5,000 naira, and they will read it. And you know what I normally say? They are your children. If they want money, you will give them. So tie the money down to reading. Let them read something. And the beautiful thing is this: if they get the right kind of books, they read a couple of times, they will begin to enjoy reading, so that with or without your incentives, they will read on their own. So start with incentives. Tell them, read this book, give me a summary, and I'll give you this amount of money. Can even extend it. Maybe on a weekend, you say, okay, they have given you a summary of what they got from the book they've read. It's okay. You can walk down to the eatery next door, or the eatery around your home, sit down, just sit down and discuss, talk. It's somewhere away from the home, talk on what they gain from the books they've read. And that's why it's so important that you, father, should be a reader to be. If a child is discussing what he got from, let's say, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you would have read it too, so that you can make input into what he's saying. Okay, so it's so important that we do that. Okay, incentivize your children. Children might not want to read, but when money is involved, they will read. So when you say, okay, read it and I'll give you money, they will do it. So the next person you need to incentivize is your wife. You need to incentivize your wife to read certain books, okay? Now, for somebody like me, my husband will provide the books I'll read. I don't ask for incentives, but I'm a book person. I love to read. But if you have a wife who doesn't read any books, who sits before the television, watching all manner of series, watching home videos and all that, please, you have to incentivize that woman to read good books. Because you see, when we were pregnant, for our children, we'll go for antenatal classes, they will tell us eat for two. What they mean is this, that whatever we eat, our children will derive their nutrition, will derive their nutrients from what we've eaten as mothers. That's how it is also. Whatever your wife knows is what she imputes into your children. So if she's vain, she's empty, she's not reading anything, she's not empowering herself with knowledge, she will raise vain children for you. I'm sure you wouldn't want children who by age 30 are still dependent on you. You can have a discussion with your wife, explain to her why she needs to begin to read, so that she can be a better parent to your children, so that she can begin to impute knowledge into your children. You can go ahead and offer her a gift, or incentivize her to encourage her to begin to read. And her herself, by the time she begins to read and begins to learn a lot of things, she will equally be interested in reading. Your wife will love to read. It's possible she has not found the right books. I remember one lady that told me that her husband for years wanted her to read, but she was not interested until she got hold of my books and she began to read. So there is an author somewhere that will write the kind of books that your wife would love to read. So find such authors, buy the books, okay, for her, and if need be, incentivize her so that she can begin to read. Incentives are usually an initiator. It usually initiates the reading process. Once somebody begins to read and begins to enjoy it, the person doesn't need any incentives again. But it's so important that every mother begins to read. I encourage you, if you are a father listening to this, recommend the straight talk to your wife, okay? There is a video in my playlist that is titled Straight Talk to Mothers on Reading. It's an absolutely very beautiful and eye-opening video. I remember today I got a testimonial from one lady, one mother. After watching it, she sent me a message. She said that you are God sent. I received it. I'm God sent. And God has sent me now to you to encourage you to begin to read, so that you will raise children who are empowered. Now, the next thing I want you to do as a father is to once in a while, maybe once in 2 months, once in a quarter, take your children for outings to a bookstore. Yes, take your children for outings in standard bookshops. Walk around with the children. Give them opportunities to pick the kind of books they would love to read. Right? Just form the habit of taking your children occasionally to bookstores. This is so important. It gives the children opportunities to see It gives them opportunity to see a lot of educational resources that are available now. It's not only books, you have resources that can help children in various ways. If you've not entered the bookshops, you won't know the things that are happening. There are a lot of innovations, a lot of resources are being developed every day. Now, when they look at all the various books in the bookshop, they will see that they all have names on them. That has a way of speaking to the child, has a way of stirring up a dream in their hearts to equally author books someday, right? Okay, so invest in buying the right things for your children. The way we take them is, fathers, we appreciate you each time you say, okay, let's go to Mr. This or Mr. That, or let's go to one eatery or the other. We are very happy. We follow you to the eateries and you buy also the beautiful things we eat. We appreciate you, daddies, but extend it that beyond the eatery, once in a while, take them to bookstores also. Let them be able to buy things that will feed not only their body this time, but that will feed their mentality. The next thing that you need to do, fathers, is to ensure that negative media is discouraged from your home. This is huge. Ensure that negative media is discouraged from your home. I normally tell people, you see, the gadgets you use your money to buy shouldn't control you, shouldn't be a channel of destruction for your children. It's not everything that they air in the television that should come into your home. There are certain things, fathers, that you should put your feet down and say, this one shouldn't air in this home. Things that have, the potential to expose your children to the negatives, okay? That's why I tell everybody that when my children were growing up, I did not allow anybody to watch home videos in my home. Don't start your children on cartoons, okay? In my last video, I said that I know the reason why a lot of parents open cartoons for their children, because children at the time when they are toddlers have not developed the concept of danger. They don't know that people die, so they do all manner of things. They climb things, they handle things, they pick things and all that. So mothers usually put on, the television, put the cartoon for them. While the children are engaged in watching what is in the screen, the mothers will have the time to do their own thing. I said that this is quite distractive because, you see, the human mind does not have the capacity to hold on to many passions at the same time. When a child is growing up and his passion and his interest is captivated by cartoons, that child will not have so much interest in academics, okay? And I said that if you don't expose children to the screen, their lives will not be boring. As a matter of fact, boredom is good for children. When a child is bored, he begins to look for something else to do. And it is in the process of trying this and that they discover their giftings. And of course, in one of my videos recently, Dr. Miles Monroe says that our true success is in using our gifts. And then if you stretch it to the Bible says it's a man's gift that makes a way for him. So when children are bored, they begin to try out so many things. And that's why also, fathers, it's so important that you provide them with things they can use to sketch, things they can use to mold, things they can use to draw, things they can use to build, okay, blocks. Make sure that your home, when your children are growing up, is rich, okay, rich with resources that will help them to discover themselves. So instead of cartoons, give them other things that they can do. And it is when you get to the bookshop, standard bookshops, that you can find out that there are a lot of things that can engage your children without exposing them to video games and cartoons or home videos or any of these other things that will implant negative seeds, negative blueprint in their minds, because it's the blueprint that a child has that he will go out to use and build. And you don't want them to build things that will bring disgrace and regret to your life. That you have to give it your best, especially when your children are growing. Make sure that they are exposed to the right environment. And thank you so much for staying with me till the end of this video. If you're one who is interested in resources or videos like this, then check out this playlist. It has a lot of beautiful resources for people who want to teach their children how to acquire a reading culture. Till I come your way next time, stay richly blessed.